Welcome to the darkest corners of Daniel Tiger's neighborhood, where childhood innocence goes to die. And okay, Daniel Tiger didn't die, but he came pretty damn close twice. Today, we're examining two episodes that stripped away the facade of safety and confronted children with their own mortality. Daniel Goes to the Hospital and Won't You Sing Along With Me, a banned episode about the COVID-19 pandemic. To me, these aren't gentle life lessons. Rather, these episodes are psychological experiments that exposed an entire generation to medical terror and existential dread. So, how exactly did Daniel Tiger's creators weaponize fear and trauma against defenseless preschoolers? Let's find out. Medical horror. Daniel's brush with death. Daniel Goes to the Hospital begins with what should be a routine pediatric care, but quickly transforms into a nightmare scenario. Daniel Tiger, a 4-year-old child, faces surgical anesthesia, a procedure that, despite medical advances, still carries genuine risks of permanent brain damage or even death.
Medicine inside is a special kind of air that will make you fall asleep, so you won't feel the operation.
According to NHS guidance, a general anaesthetic can cause side effects including feeling thirsty, feeling drowsy, a hoarse voice or a sore throat caused by the tube in your throat during the procedure, shivering, feeling sick or being sick, pain, bruising or soreness from the injection or from lying still during the procedure, feeling confused or memory loss. The possible complications are worse. Possible complications can include a serious allergic reaction to the anesthetic, breathing difficulties, a chest infection, damage to your teeth or mouth from the breathing tube, damage to your eyes, damage to your nerves which can cause numbness, tingling or weakness, longer-lasting confusion. Whilst it's rare, it can even cause death. The most serious harms can potentially involve brain damage, disability or death. The General Medical Council make it clear that we should make parents and young people aware of any risk of serious harm. Yet Daniel is told nothing. Daniel is terrified, and he should be. He's about to be rendered unconscious by strangers while sharp instruments are inserted into his skull. Yes, Daniel is having surgery on his ear. Quick reminder to hit subscribe if you want more Daniel Tiger theories. Thank you, back to the video. The show attempts to sanitize this horror with cheerful songs, but the underlying reality remains. This is a medical procedure that could go catastrophically wrong. Honestly, Daniel's justified fears are trivialized with these cringy, oh so cringy songs.
When we do something new, let's talk about what we'll do.
When we do something new, let's talk about what we'll do.
Look at Daniel's face as he lies there, about to go under.
This mask has the medicine inside, just like we talked about. I'm going to put it on you now.
He doesn't look like he's showing cartoon expressions of nervousness. Rather, his eyes show the wide-eyed terror of a child who instinctively understands he might not wake up. The show's attempts to make this friendly only make it more disturbing. Adult viewers immediately recognized the sanitized horror for what it was. One Reddit user noted the unrealistic portrayal. Getting ear surgery isn't something that just comes up and bam, surgery. Also completely misses one of the big components of the hospital, waiting. The show deliberately omitted the psychological torture of extended medical waiting. This refers to the hours of mounting dread that parents know accompany any hospital visit. Another viewer observed the eerily empty hospital setting, calling it a hick town hospital with minimal staff. This isn't comforting, it's terrifying. Where are the other patients, the emergency cases, the bustling medical staff you'd expect in a functioning hospital? The emptiness suggests something far more sinister about Daniel's treatment. Parents reported using this episode to condition their own children for hospital visits. As one parent admitted, mine was in the hospital recently, they're fine. And so now we have watched the ear one, Daniel Goes to the Hospital, at least 10 times in the last 7 days. I appreciate that the show helps them feel better and that the hospital trip wasn't that big of a deal. On the one hand, an optimist might say that this puts Daniel Tiger in a positive light. The episode is helping young people through difficult times, demonstrating the true heartwarming nature of the show. On the other hand, a cynic would say that this is programming kids to accept accept medical procedures without question, manipulating children into accepting medical vulnerability. Confidence building or psychological conditioning? Let me know what you think in that comment section below. Pandemic trauma, manufacturing isolation. Released during COVID-19, the episode Won't You Sing Along With Me exposed preschoolers to concepts of invisible death, social isolation, and the collapse of normal life. It's the only episode of children's television I know that's linked to a global pandemic that's caused over 7 million deaths. Perhaps that's why the episode has been disowned by PBS. There is no official video on the Daniel Tiger YouTube channel, making it a banned episode. The only upload that exists anywhere is on a screen recording from someone's iPad. And yes, those messages pop up a lot. The episode opens with crushing disappointment. The neighborhood carnival is cancelled due to an invisible threat that could kill anyone Daniel loves. Within minutes, his entire world contracts to the confines of his home. Friends become potential vectors of death. Grandparents become unreachable. The outside world becomes a contaminated wasteland. Daniel's emotional breakdown is immediate and severe. He cycles through stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression. All his parents do is offer platitudes about staying safe. But safe from what? An invisible enemy that could be anywhere, carried by anyone, including the people he loves most. The show's attempt to normalize this trauma through songs and activities feels particularly sinister. Daniel is taught to find joy in isolation, to accept that his social connections are now mediated through screens, that physical affection is dangerous. It's supposed to show resilience, but to me, it just teaches learned helplessness. Adult viewers recognised the psychological damage being inflicted. Some have compared it to other pandemic episodes released, and the comparison is certainly unflattering for Daniel Tiger. As this user writes, this image is bringing back horrible memories of the Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Won't You Sing Along With Me special. When I saw the promos for that special, I expected something along the lines of something like Sesame Street, Elmo's Virtual Playdate, and The Loud House, Hanging at Home with the Casa Grandes. Those specials were both positive and upbeat, and had the protagonists interact virtually with their friends all throughout them, which was what helped me get through the COVID-19 pandemic. Won't You Sing Along With Me was the unfortunate opposite of those specials. It was bleak and depressing, with Daniel complaining that he couldn't go to the neighborhood carnival or visit his friends. I didn't need to be reminded that these things weren't going to get better in what was already a depressing time. Go look up the episode and watch it. It will prove this person's point 1,000 times over. I guarantee that you won't be able to sit through that 18-minute dirge fest without feeling depressed. So wait, maybe don't do that. Another review is equally scathing, stating, "Animation takes a while, but they threw this COVID-19 special together anyway. It's mostly recycled animations and songs from previous episodes, and the special is shorter than the normal length. They cram a lot in under 18 minutes, and they don't even cover the topic of the pandemic properly. The plot is Daniel Tiger wants to go to the neighborhood carnival, but can't, because the doctor said that they don't want a lot of people gathering and spreading germs. Then, the dad tiger is working at home, and Daniel Tiger wants to play with his dad, but can't, because his dad is working and can't do two things at once. Daniel then decides to feed the fish. It puts a short emphasis of having kids ask questions about what's happening. It might help. And then the answers that mum and dad give aren't helpful, and then they say that it's making them upset too. This could potentially confuse kids. It's poorly scripted and filled with follow the bouncing ball sing-alongs that the target audience of 4 and under cannot read because of the reading level or lack thereof. My daughter got absolutely nothing out of this. So disappointing and pointless. Well, you can't argue with that. The negative parent feedback isn't why the episode was banned though. We can blame COVID-19 for that. Unlike every other cheerful neighborhood ditty, this one was chained to a very real global tragedy. Thousands of families were facing actual bereavement, COVID deaths, and Daniel Tiger was drafted in as a grief counselor. Other people flat out denied the severity of the pandemic, which only amplified the controversy. For some parents, the episode was a lifeline. For others, it was propaganda that tried to normalize devastating lockdowns. That tug of war meant the episode has never had the same official treatment as the rest of the series. It's an orphaned episode, hanging awkwardly outside the canon, more whispered about than celebrated. The manufacturing of fear. Both episodes share a disturbing common thread. They introduce children to mortality whilst pretending to offer comfort. Daniel faces death twice. Once on an operating table, once through pandemic isolation, and both times the show presents these threats as normal, manageable parts of childhood. The hospital episode shows Daniel unconscious and vulnerable, surrounded by masked strangers with sharp instruments. The pandemic episode shows him trapped in his home, cut off from human connection, watching his social world disintegrate. Both scenarios represent fundamental childhood nightmares, yet they're presented as learning opportunities. Some see this as building resilience. But you could just as easily make the case that they're normalizing trauma. Daniel never fights back, never demands real answers, never asserts his autonomy. He simply accepts what's happening to him and sings about it. This is how you create compliant citizens. You start with preschoolers, introduce them to concepts like mortality and powerlessness, and then you help them to find comfort in submission. The next time you watch Daniel Tiger, remember what you're really seeing. A carefully constructed system designed to break down children's natural resistance to authority and prepare them for a lifetime of institutional control. The land of make-believe isn't a safe space for childhood imagination. It's a training ground for societal compliance, where even the threat of death becomes just another lesson to sing along with. Thank you for watching. Snipe, snap, out. Please excuse me as I return to my research.